My girlfriend abandoned me in intensive care for Instagram photos, then acted like nothing happened. Hi, I'm Alex, 34, and last month I learned my girlfriend loved beach photos more than me bleeding in the ICU. It was a Thursday morning. I was in a hospital bed with a chest tube, 3 fractured ribs, a shattered leg, and a spleen that doctors still hadn't decided whether to remove. And somehow, I felt like the less broken one in the room. Alex, she said, snapping her makeup mirror shut like she was punctuating a breakup. If you're just going to lie there and be unconscious or whatever, I might as well be useful somewhere else. I blinked. Literally, that's all I could manage. The morphine had made time elastic and my body felt like a crumpled soda can. Still, I tried to sit up. My ribs screamed in protest, and my vision went pure white. I collapsed back into the pillow, gasping. Useful, I croaked, throat raw like I'd been gargling glass. I'm in intensive care, Nina. I have a drainage bag full of my blood, and they're still debating if I need to lose an organ. She nodded like she was genuinely sympathetic. I know, babe. And that's awful. It really is. But I promised Emily I'd be there for her. You know how she gets when she's alone. She's been crying since Greg dumped her. This trip is important. It's a healing thing. I stared at her. You're flying to Tulum today. It's a wellness retreat, she said, smoothing down her sunny floral dress. It's not just some party. We paid $3,200 each, and it's non-refundable. I coughed, which triggered a wave of pain that made me whimper. I make that in 5 days. I pay the rent. I pay for your car. And you're crying about $3,000? She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd detach. This isn't about money, Alex. That's so petty. This is about loyalty. Emily needs me. I wanted to laugh, but I knew it'd split my ribs open. I got crushed by a steel girder, Nina. I didn't stub my toe. And I've been here 4 hours, she said, arms crossed like she was the victim. I brought you your charger. I even spoke to the doctor. He said you're stable. Stable means you'll be fine. You're just lying here. Healing. I can't heal your bones by staring at you. She checked her phone. Notification pinged. I'll be back in 5 days. Max. By then you'll probably be discharged, and we can Netflix or whatever. She kissed my forehead, grabbed the Louis Vuitton weekender I bought her for Christmas, and walked out without looking back. That was the first time I realized what kind of woman I'd been living with for 2 years. And it wasn't just the ribs that hurt anymore. Let me tell you what happened next. That first night alone in the hospital was brutal. You know how they say time slows down in pain? It stopped. The beeping machines never synced, like a chaotic techno track with no rhythm. My leg felt like it was encased in wet concrete. Every breath pulled on the stitches in my side. And worse, I kept replaying the moment Nina walked out with that casual, vacation glow, like I was just another errand she could reschedule. I kept picking up my phone, typing out dumb messages. Have a good flight. Deleted. I'm scared. Deleted. Please don't leave me. Definitely deleted. I wasn't gonna beg. I had some dignity left, even if I couldn't reach the water jug on my side table. At midnight, curiosity got the better of me. I opened Instagram. Boom. First story. Boomerang. 2 cocktails clinking. Captioned. Healing begins Tulum vibes. Nina's hand was in the frame. The one with the turquoise ring I gave her in Sedona. The same hand that handed me my charger like it was a grand gesture before hopping on a plane. I stared at the screen. Then I dropped the phone. Literally. It slid off the table and hit the tile floor with a thud. I couldn't even lean down to get it. A tear rolled down my cheek. Not from sadness, not even heartbreak. Pure rage. Frustration. I was a grown man, a project manager responsible for half the office towers downtown, and I couldn't even pick up my own phone. At 2:17 a.m., a nurse came in. Her tag said Vera. She looked like someone who didn't take nonsense from residents or patients or gravity itself. You awake? She asked, glancing at the monitor. Heart rate's climbing. I'm fine. You're lying, she said, spotting the phone on the ground. She picked it up, dusted it off, and set it on the tray. Girlfriend didn't come back? She had prior commitments. Vera raised an eyebrow. Let me guess. Beachside yoga and overpriced smoothies? Tulum girls trip. She actually snorted. Well, that's a choice. Yeah, I muttered. It is. Anyone else coming? Parents are gone. Brothers in Berlin. Got a few work buddies. She gave me a look, not pity, but something close. Concern without sentiment. You got a real friend you can call? I hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, Marcus. Marcus was my foreman. Big guy. Looked like a biker. Beard like a lumberjack. We didn't talk feelings. We talked specs, deadlines, the Eagles. But he'd shown up for me more times than Nina ever did. Next morning, I called him. He answered on the second ring. Yo, you breathing? Barely. You want me to come punch a nurse or something? I need a favor. Clothes. Phone charger. Maybe socks that don't belong to the hospital. Where's Nina? Mexico. Long silence. Then, say no more. I'll be there in 2 hours. And he was. With a duffel bag, a bag of burgers, and a glare like he was ready to fight the entire staff if they gave me sugar-free Jell-O again. That's when I knew something had changed. Nina left, but someone real had shown up. Marcus didn't bring flowers. He brought 3 pairs of boxers, a hoodie I forgot I owned, and fries from the burger spot across from our job site. I couldn't eat solid food yet, but the smell alone made me feel like a human again. He dropped into the plastic chair by my bed, looked me over, and said, "She really left you, huh?" I didn't answer. I didn't have to. She said the tickets were non-refundable. He gave a short bark of a laugh, the kind you'd expect from a guy who's pulled people out of collapsed scaffolding. My tires are non-refundable too, but if they blow out on the highway, I don't keep driving to Applebee's. I smirked, which hurt like hell. She's a vulture, he said. Always has been. You've met her twice. Once was enough. I didn't argue. The man had instincts. He also had a wife, Sarah, who texted him while he was sitting there and asked, "Does he like lentils, or nah?" She was already meal prepping for me. "Nina thinks I'm tough," I muttered. "You are tough," Marcus said. "But you ain't indestructible. You got hit with a 4-ton steel beam, not a pillow fight." He leaned forward. "You want me to change the locks?" I shook my head. "Not yet. Still soft," he said, not unkindly. "You build towers that can take hurricane winds, but you let this girl walk all over you. I'm handling it. That's why you're lying in a paper gown, eating ice chips, while she's doing tequila shots in a hammock." He came back every day after that. He didn't hover. He didn't ask too many questions. He just showed up. Meanwhile, Nina's texts trickled in. "Want a day? Thinking of you. Hope the food isn't too gross, lol. Service is bad here. Might not reply for a bit. Love you." I stopped replying after day 2. On day 4, the doctor finally walked in with a mix of good and bad news. "Leg's gonna need a full cast, possibly a boot after that," he said. "Minimum 8 weeks. No stairs, no driving. Chest is healing well. Spleen is staying put. Congrats." I was still processing when he added, "Do you live in a building with an elevator?" I laughed, then winced. "No. 3rd floor. Walk up." "Then unless you've got someone to carry you up the stairs every day and babysit you for a week straight, you're not going home." I thought about Nina. She once complained about carrying a 12-pack of LaCroix up a flight of stairs. "I'll figure it out." I texted Marcus. "Me. Doc says no stairs. Need somewhere to crash for a bit." "Marcus, guest room's yours. Sarah's already roasting a chicken. She says Nina's trash and can't wait to tell you to your face." I smiled. First time in days. Then, on day 7, the hospital door swung open. She was back. Tan. Hair lighter. Coconut lotion filling the sterile room like poison perfume. "Babe," she said, dropping her bags and rushing toward me. "I missed you so much." I held up a hand. "Careful. Ribs." What happened next? Let's just say it didn't go how she planned. Nina pulled back like I'd slapped her. The pout on her lips would have made an influencer proud. "I came straight from the airport," she said, flipping her sun-kissed hair over one shoulder like it was an apology. "Didn't even stop to shower. That's how much I missed you." I stared at her. "Yeah? Looked like a rough week." That catamaran looked brutal. She froze. Just a hitch in her step, but I saw it. "I was trying to stay positive, babe. Emily needed cheering up. You know how she spirals." "Is Emily okay now?" I asked, dry as a desert. "Did she survive the heartbreak of being single for a week in paradise?" Nina rolled her eyes. "Don't be petty. You know it was hard for me too." I almost laughed. "Was it? You texted me 3 times in 6 days. You didn't call. Not once. Service was spotty. You posted 14 Instagram stories." That shut her up. Her arms crossed automatically, defensive. 10 lines stood out stark against her white blouse. "Okay," she huffed. "So you're angry. I get it. But I'm here now. I'm ready to take care of you. When are they discharging you?" "Tomorrow." "Perfect. I'll drive us home." I bought scented candles to get the hospital stink out of your clothes. I'm not going home. She blinked. What? I can't do stairs. Doctor's orders. Our place is a third-floor walk-up. I can't even climb a curb right now, Nina. So what? You're moving into rehab. No. Marcus has a guest room. 1 floor. No stairs. His wife already made soup. You're staying with Marcus? The bearded Sasquatch with the rusty truck? He offered. You didn't. But I'm here now. Yeah, a week late. After cocktails and snorkeling. Nina's voice dropped into the wounded, silky tone she used when she got caught lying. We can figure it out. Stay in a hotel. Maybe rent a ground-floor Airbnb. Who pays for that? She hesitated. We have savings? No. I have savings. You have a tan. Her cheeks flushed red. Why are you being so mean? I'm not. I'm just done pretending this was okay. You left me, Nina. I had internal bleeding. A steel beam tried to make me a pancake, and you prioritized sangria and matching swimsuits. I love you, she said, lip trembling. She was good at that. I made a mistake. Don't punish me for it. I'm not punishing you, I said, voice steady. I'm firing you. Silence. The monitor beeped. She blinked. Wait, what? We're done, Nina. When I get out of here tomorrow, Marcus is picking me up. I want you out of the apartment by the weekend. You can't do that. I live there. My name's on the lease. No, it's not. That's what you told the landlord so they wouldn't run a credit check. She stared. The tears dried up. Now it was real fear. The kind that has nothing to do with heartbreak and everything to do with rent. Alex, she whispered, please. Let's just talk when you're home. No. I'm done talking. Go stay with Emily. She owes you, right? She lives in a studio? Sounds like a you problem. You're being a bastard. No, I said, leaning back. I'm being a man who finally woke up. She stood there, waiting for me to break. I didn't. Eventually, she grabbed her overpriced duffel, muttered something under her breath, and left. Update 1. The breakup was official. Update 2. Recovery was about to begin. The next 6 weeks were the most physically painful and emotionally clarifying of my entire life. I moved into Marcus and Sarah's place the day after discharge. Their guest room smelled like cinnamon and fresh laundry. There was a recliner in the corner, a basket of snacks I couldn't even eat yet, and a sticky note on the mirror that said, "You're not a burden. Rest easy." Sarah was a machine. She made casseroles like it was a competitive sport, helped me set up a laptop station so I could do some remote project planning, and, most importantly, didn't make me feel pathetic for needing help. Marcus checked on me every night after work. Sometimes he brought beers, non-alcoholic, since I was still on meds. Sometimes he brought gossip from the job site. You know that rookie, Devin? Tried to weld through a rain tarp. Idiot almost lit himself on fire. We laughed. I winced. Still healing ribs. You're smiling more, Sarah said one morning, bringing in a tray of breakfast. That's good. Think I'm just finally breathing again. I meant it. Being in their house felt like rehab for more than just bones. Nina, of course, didn't go quietly. First, it was daily texts. I miss you. Olivia's couch is tiny and my back hurts. Can we just meet for coffee? Day 3, she sent a selfie of her holding a puppy. Thinking of getting this little guy? Maybe it'll help me heal. Still love you. Blocked. I wasn't going back. A month in, Marcus and 2 guys from the crew helped me go back to my old apartment to get the rest of my stuff. I'd already decided not to renew the lease. Too many memories that smelled like fake tan and betrayal. Place was a disaster. The rug was stained, trash was still in the bin, and she'd taken the coffee maker, my coffee maker, and the 65-inch OLED TV I bought on Black Friday. Classy, Marcus said, staring at the empty wall mount. Let her keep it, I muttered. Call it a severance package. On the kitchen counter was a handwritten note. I hope you're happy. You threw away something real because you couldn't handle me having a life. I crumpled it and tossed it in the trash, right next to the empty tequila bottle and a crusty takeout container. She had her life, and I was finally building mine. By month 2, I was walking without crutches. Just a cane and a limp that made me look like a retired pirate, which Marcus found endlessly entertaining. Captain Limpbeard returns, he'd say when I hobbled into the kitchen. You be ready to climb stairs yet? Only if there's rum at the top, I'd shoot back. Physical therapy was a grind. Twice a week. The therapist, Lena, was a 5'0" woman with the strength of a gorilla and the empathy of a war medic. She didn't coddle me. She rebuilt me. You're not just learning to walk again, she said during one session. You're learning not to flinch every time someone disappoints you. Damn, she wasn't wrong. By the start of month 3, I had a realtor. By the end, I had a new house, small, one story just outside the city. No stairs, big backyard, quiet. Mine. I moved in with help from the crew. Sarah brought a plant and lasagna. Marcus brought tools and beer. You got everything you need now, he said, planting the welcome mat like it was a flag. Except maybe a dog. I'm not ready for that level of commitment, I said. I just broke up with a woman who thought loyalty meant beachfront drinks. Oh, right, he smirked. How is Cancun, Barbie? I hadn't heard from Nina since I blocked her, but mutual friends kept me updated whether I wanted them to or not. Apparently, she and Olivia had a nuclear-level fight after living together for 10 days. Something about closet space and emotional support boundaries. Olivia kicked her out, and Nina landed, unsurprisingly, in the arms of some club promoter named Tyler who had a hot tub and good weed. Best of luck, Ty. You're gonna need it. But there's one thing I never told anyone, not even Marcus. Something that stuck with me. It happened the day Nina came back to the hospital, right after I ended it. That same day, Nurse Vera, the no-nonsense, no-sugarcoating angel of the ICU, came in to check my vitals. She'd been at the nurse's station the whole time. She heard everything. Pulse is high, she said, wrapping the cuff around my arm. You just dropped some dead weight? I smiled. You could say that. She finished her notes, then hesitated, tapping her pen on the clipboard. You want to know something? She asked, voice lower now. Sure. When she first came in, that day before her trip, she stopped at the nurse's desk. My heart tensed. She asked about me? Vera shook her head. She asked if we validated parking. What? We do for immediate family visiting critical patients. Saves about $20 a day. She wanted a pass for the whole week. But she wasn't staying. Exactly, Vera said. I told her the pass only worked for days she actually visited. I already felt sick. You know what she asked next? Vera narrowed her eyes. If she could just take the pass and stamp it herself when she came back, to avoid paying the $12. I stared at her. She was haggling over $12, Vera said, while you were bleeding internally. I closed my eyes. $12. It wasn't about money. It was about value. $12. It kept echoing in my brain, like a drumbeat behind everything else. This woman, the one I nearly proposed to last Christmas, the one who once cried because I forgot her oat milk, had tried to scam a hospital parking pass while I was in critical care. Not because she was broke, but because her priorities were designer duffels, brunch aesthetics, and how to get out of paying for anything that didn't come with a side of flattery. I remember staring at the ceiling that night, the soft glow of the hallway lights creeping under the door. There was no anger, no tears, just clarity. That weight I'd been carrying. All those little compromises, the excuses I made for her, the moments I told myself she means well. It finally lifted. It wasn't crushed ribs that had kept me breathless all those months. It was her. I was healing, but not just physically. I started doing more than just walk again. I started making calls. Reaching out to people I'd lost track of while I was too busy chasing Nina's approval. Dinner with my brother when he flew in from Berlin. Long talks with my former college roommate about investing in a side project we'd shelved years ago. I even went to a backyard cookout with my old crew, something Nina would have labeled too lowbrow. No one asked about her. They didn't need to. They saw the way I moved now. A little slower, yeah, but with purpose. Meanwhile, Sarah kept inviting me over for dinner once a week. Marcus insisted I be the one to man the grill, limp or no limp. You've got to earn your plate, he joked. They became more than friends. They became chosen family. I started waking up in my new place without that pit in my stomach. I even got a dog. A rescue mutt named Baxter, with one ear that refused to stand up and the appetite of a small bear. He followed me everywhere, even into the bathroom, which was a bit much, but I respected the loyalty. One evening, I took Baxter for a walk around the neighborhood. The sky was purple, fading to deep navy. A couple of kids rode past on bikes. Someone was grilling steaks a few doors down. I stopped, breathed in, and for the first time in over 2 years, I felt peace. No noise, no drama, no one trying to barter parking passes while I bled. Just me, a good dog, and a limp that reminded me I'd survived something. Almost healed, almost whole. Almost done. Just one more thing left to say. 4 months to the day since the accident, I stood in my own kitchen, barefoot, drinking actual coffee from a real mug. Not a hospital cup. Not a to-go cup Nina forgot on the counter. Mine. Baxter sat by the sliding glass door, tail thumping lazily as squirrels taunted him from the fence. My legs still ached in the mornings. The limp hadn't fully faded, but the pain felt honest now. Around 9 a.m., my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. I almost ignored it. Then curiosity won. Hello. Hi. Alex? I recognized the voice instantly. Nina. Of course. I heard you bought a house, she said quickly. Nervous. Like she was talking fast to get it all out before I hung up. From Logan, the guy you used to work with. He's dating my friend now, and he mentioned it. Wow. That's big. I mean, congratulations. I didn't say anything. Anyway, she continued, I've been doing a lot of thinking. A lot. Therapy, actually. Real therapy. Not spa retreats with chakra oils. The real stuff. Still nothing from me. She exhaled hard. I know I hurt you. I was selfish. Immature. And I don't blame you for walking away. But I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I really am. You didn't deserve that. You deserved someone who would have stayed. I looked out the window. Baxter's ears perked. He barked once, just to be part of the moment. Nina, I finally said. Calm. Even. I hope you get better. I really do. A pause. That's it. That's it. Silence on the other end. Then, I guess I thought maybe. I forgave you a while ago, I said. But forgiving someone doesn't mean they get to come back. More silence. And then, quietly. Okay. Click. That was the last time I heard her voice. That weekend, Marcus and Sarah came over with folding chairs and a cooler full of beer. We grilled in the backyard while Baxter chased fireflies and occasionally stole hot dog buns when we weren't looking. At one point, Marcus raised his can. To new bones, new homes, and no more girls who validate parking before they validate your existence. We laughed until my ribs ached. But it was the good kind. The kind of ache that tells you something's healing. Finally, I used to think strength was never asking for help. Carrying it all. Being the fixer. But sometimes strength is knowing when to let go. When to say no more. When to start over. And if you're lucky, really lucky, strength is what carries you through the wreckage to something better than you imagined. Even if it limps a little on the way. The end.